Welcome everybody, it's Neil from Neil Plays Guitar. Today we're checking out the Horizon Devices Apex Preamp. Is it worth it in 2026? Let's take a look. Hey everybody, so it's Neil and welcome to the Riff Room. So the Apex Preamp was introduced and billed as Misha in a box. Misha meaning Misha Mansoor from Periphery. In recent years, he's kind of been one of the it guys with regards to high gain gear and that gent kind of tone that's taken off. While I don't really gravitate towards gent stuff myself, I do still appreciate his gear. I do have a PV Invective mini head, as well as a knockoff of his precision drive. So I was able to find this Apex Preamp used at a really good price, and I thought I'd check it out. Now, before I bought it, I was obviously researching the item, checking out Reddit and forums and YouTube, and honestly, you're kind of hard-pressed to find a more maligned piece of gear. It seemed like when it was introduced, all the main YouTubers demoed it, and they can kind of work their own magic behind the scenes and it sounded good, but a lot of the smaller guys or the people in the forums or Reddit or what have you weren't too impressed. I'm somebody, I always need to find out things for myself, and so, like I said, I took a gamble and I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
And you, sir, have been taken by surprise.
And like anything else in life, I really want to improve my craft. I want to improve my ability to record and mix and master my own music. And anyways, the Apex Preamp, man, very impressed. So as you heard in that track, I was able to get a great tone and it sits in the mix well. I was using it with third-party impulse responses, but I will demo what the built-in cab sim sounds like. While it's obviously not going to compare to mixing multiple impulse responses, you'll see when we demo it that you are able to kind of filter through a spectrum and perhaps find a frequency that'll work with your dialed in tone. So up top, we have a volume, a 3-band EQ, and a gain control. Now there's also a built-in gate, and the built-in gate is wicked. I'm very happy with the gate. Not once did I find it choked out my signal or I lost sustain during solos. I think it was really great. And some noise gates, even the noise gate I currently have on my board that I gig with is the Fortin Zool Plus. I find that gate is way too aggressive, and even using the key input, it still kind of chokes me out at times and it drives me nuts. I didn't find that the case at all, and of course this is a much different scenario dealing with way lower levels, but nonetheless, I am very happy with this gate. So with the built-in noise gate, the knob all the way clockwise means the gate is maxed out. All the way counterclockwise, the gate is turned off. And with the cab sim, as soon as you start dialing it from the counterclockwise or leftmost position, it'll start going through that sweep, that frequency sweep to where it is. However, all the way counterclockwise, it's turned off, right? So you can use this with like a 2 notes cab M or your third-party IRs or another cab emulator pedal if you're doing a gig and want to run it into the front house. Now, the tight control.
Oh, tight, yeah!
To my ears, what the tight control really seemed to do is it rolled off a lot of the bottom end and took away a lot of the saturation. So it really gives that super dry, super tight staccato, gent tone. Again, not really for me, but nonetheless, it is a cool feature. And like I said, I was able to get that more conventional, heavy, super saturated tone with this bad boy with the tight turned off. So obviously this is not a sponsored video. Again, I'm just a small guy, small YouTuber doing this in his basement for fun. I've never been someone that really delves much into pedals, specifically preamp pedals. As you can see, you know, I have a few amps behind me and usually I rely on those, but a lot of people swear by these. And given that I'm trying to focus more so on recording and mixing my own stuff, I found it a bit easier to gravitate towards like a preamp pedal and run that through third-party IRs. You know, it's really easy to get into the weeds when it comes to impulse responses, and I'm learning firsthand how easy it is to kind of lose yourself in the minutia of tweaking those little frequencies, but it is a lot of fun. And I've seen this as kind of a gateway into that. It's very straightforward and kind of, it was easy for me to wrap my head around. I'm not a super tech savvy guy. And even the size of the pedal and how it is, actually I'll compare it with another preamp pedal here. So here I have the Ibanez Pentatone preamp pedal. I'm gonna do a video on this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it. I love the way this pedal sounds. However, the condition it came in from the retailer I bought it from wasn't acceptable for me buying a new pedal, but I digress. As we compare the size and the complexity, this is significantly smaller and it was a lot easier for me to wrap my head around. I will be doing a video on this though, so subscribe if you want to see that. So what I'm gonna do now is just record the pedal direct into my DAW. I have 2 separate impulse responses running in NAT-IR, which is a free impulse response loader. And I'm just kind of gonna go and tweak the knobs a bit. This is the tone that I had dialed in for that title track, that demo track, without any EQs, without anything. So here's what the DI signal is. And with the pedal on. So to me, it sounds pretty great, right? Impulse responses are never going to have that same feel, that feeling of the air actually being pushed by the amp. But these 2 impulse responses I have, I was quite happy with, and they're freebies that I've had on a thumb drive for like years. I don't even think I can find them online anymore. But for this demo track and for this whole video, I've been playing my Les Paul Tribute, and I have bare knuckle True Grits. Now I chose this guitar mainly because I wanted to try something with moderate output pickups to see if I could still get a great tone from it, you know what I mean? These are Alnico 5s. I prefer Alnico 5s to ceramics, and I don't really have a dog in any fight with regards to active versus passive. However, these are great sounding pickups, and I wanted to see if I could still get a great metal tone. Oops. But anyways, let's start tweaking those knobs. That's what she said. I'm gonna keep the volume approximately the same, and I'm just gonna sweep through the bass, the mid, and the treble and the gain, and I'll just do some palm mutes, because why not? So now let's hit that tight control. Tight control off. I almost forgot. I'm gonna run through the cab sim sounds with you guys, okay? I'm just gonna quickly do some chugging and run through that spectrum and you can kind of hear. Now, obviously, if you spend the time and you find a spot that's kind of accentuating those frequencies that you like, you can then dial into taste with the onboard 3-band EQ. So let's do it. No cab sim. Here's the cab sim with the tight on. So as you can see, totally possible to get a decent tone with that cab sim. Obviously, I was just spending 2 seconds on it. I haven't messed around with it too much. However, it is there, and it's even in Misha's words. I think he said, you know, it's not designed really to be the best, but more so just to be an option should something happen when you're traveling or you need just a straight to the front of house system scenario. And who knows, maybe your cab sim got stolen or wasn't working. Like, these things happen, right? So at least it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. My whole intent with this channel now is to just focus more so on getting better at mixing, at recording, at kind of putting myself out there, out of my comfort zone, and challenging myself. I'm a pretty prolific songwriter, and I want to get better at recording so I can do my own music and release my own music. If any of that sounds great to you guys or you appreciated the video, please like and subscribe to see this channel grow, and I have more here to show you guys. So I'm Neil from Neil Plays Guitar. This is the Riff Room. You've been great. Thanks.